with you first on this one.
Listen, man, if your opinion matters on if you form your opinion based off of what Moist Critical tells you to hate, then you're gonna hate a lot of things in life. And I love the guy, but I think he's one of the big guys who's been pushing against this anti-AI agenda. Look, the Indie Game Awards disqualifying Claire Obscure, great. Nobody knew that award show existed. The only reason why you're in the headlines right now is because you're disqualifying an actual game of the year for something that is as stupid as generative AI usage. I think when you're looking at games, people want more games more frequently, but they also want more expressive games. They want games that go deeper. They want games that explore different pathways and themes. And those things are hard to build because they're expensive to build and they're a risk to build. But when you remove some of those costs or you alleviate some of the barriers to entry for some of those titles, you get games like Arc Raiders. You get games like Claire Obscure. You get games that are able to do things a little bit quicker and a little bit cheaper and deliver titles that are a lot more expressive and fun. Titles unlike Black Ops 7 that everybody hates. Titles that people are excited about. Titles that you're going to talk about for 10 years. These sort of things matter. I think teams who use AI to get the development process started, to get things moving a little bit quicker, to alleviate some of the typical bottlenecks and reduce costs is a good thing, because over time, that doesn't mean less jobs for everybody. It might mean that in the short term, but in the long term, what it means is more games can be built. More games in different genres can be built. More games with different expressions can be built. And that means more jobs for real human beings who are going to be building the lion's share of those games. I think AI tools not only important, but they're a necessity. If you want more games, if you want better games, if you want faster development cycles, if you want to play more things more frequently, and you don't want to be waiting for GTA for 14 years, you need AI tooling to help move things along. I think that anybody with half a brain who's looking at this from a consumer perspective, what does this mean long term? It means more games, better games, more frequently are you going to be getting those games. I think anybody who hates AI because of those two letters, AI, without understanding anything more about it, probably shouldn't be playing games, because you're going to hate a lot of things about games.
Good point. Good points all around. Dub, how about you, Sub?
Yeah, it's just crazy because there's probably these guys hating on AI in this instance are probably interacting with AI customer service agents, reading AI marketing, and like consuming it without even question too, like and think it's human. So like it's just absurd for people.
Complaining at the end of the day, like when it comes to this, is this like just a loud minority that is worried about their jobs? Like, Sam, take it from there.
I mean, yeah, I think it's that, and it's also like people sitting on the outside that this is like the coolest, newest thing to white knight about. You know, I'm protecting this thing I love, the games industry. I don't understand why gamers here, we used AI and suddenly become Harvard ethicists with waifu profile pictures. It's crazy to me, dude. This is the storming of Normandy Beach for neckbeards. They react to this stuff the way that I react to Old Yeller being taken out back and shot. But I think it's fair, you know, for the people to be upset at Larian, because clearly it's impossible for AI to capture the soul of a romance scene in which people try to create a polyamorous relationship between a witch and a lizard. Yeah, that doesn't sound like AI slop at all, you know, so we got to protect that as much as we humanly can. Honestly, everybody that's outraged at AI content, I want to see their search history. And if the Pirate Bay comes up at all, you're not allowed to be outraged about this. You've been taking jobs from gaming. You've been contributing to subpar experiences. You've been downloading subpar experiences and playing them the entire time. You're not allowed to be mad anymore. I think there will be a counterculture that's like only artisanal gaming experiences where everything was hand-drawn. But most of those studios, if we're being honest, are going to go out of business in the next 5 or 10 years because simply it's going to cost more to create these things, and simply you're not going to be able to tell the fucking difference. And so, you know, good luck. It's your right to be upset about it, and it's also your right to be completely incorrect about where the future is going, you know?
It's like the Etsy versus like Amazon in a lot of ways. What about you? Like,
I don't know. I mean, there's a clear explanation for what's happening. Like, I don't know personally anyone that is actually against the AI, like, invention and integration in games. Like, there is a clear thing. It is either NVIDIA, the government. So this is clearly just some sort of AI representation of what's going on in the space.
And Bush did 9/11. Am I right, boys?
Exactly. So now that we have that situated, you know, as much as, like, I hate on Clear Mascara. Like, the game was excellent. The fact that they had anything stripped from them after you like repaired the infractions is absolutely crazy to me. Yeah. So I'm hoping that next year, like, if we work in a industry that is developed around tech, that we don't alienate anyone from new tech coming out. Like, that is fucking crazy. Let's absolutely cut that off and continue with the awards with anybody winning, however they made the game. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
If you ever worked in balancing for any game ever, you'll realize one thing really quickly. And it's gamers don't know anything at all. Hey, we need to nerf this gun. That gun gets nerfed. 3 other guns that are a way worse experience for the game pop up.
Yeah, but have you used a hairpin?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. So it's literally exactly this, right? People complain about something changes. They don't know what they want. What they want is a direction. They want to be told what to hate. And right now, guys at the top, guys with 50 million subscribers on YouTube are telling you need to hate AI in game development, and that's why they hate it. Full stop.
Fuck trigger nades, am I right?
Trigger nades, brother. Dude, they're nerfing it, actually. They're nerfing it.
Yeah.
But okay, this one's a sad one for all of us. And it is that Supervive live service is ending in February of this year, unfortunately. And one of the things that we all asked each other is like, hey, do you guys want to play this? And one of the responses were, hey, no, because I don't want to be sad.
Yeah, the servers are on until February, right? And I was like, why would
February.
I get myself addicted and then, cucked?
It's sad. And so what I wanted to kind of ask this question is like, why is this happening, guys? Like, for us, if this came out whenever we were in high school or middle school, we would be playing this game religiously, and this would be the most fun thing that's ever been a part. Like, it would have just took over. School would have took over everything. Go ahead, Deb. Go ahead, Deb.
Like, because everyone's going to be all in the pity party and be like, oh, bro, I don't know, man. This was such a good game. They did X, Y, and Z, which I've never seen before. And, like, at the end of the day,
we are going to do that.
We all stopped playing while it was out and while it was going. So, clearly,
speak for yourself.
They've been fumbling the ball for a long time. I think a lot of it was live ops at the end of the day and not being able to retain people as they came in. It's simply like looking back at our experience. I think we dove in like once I bring it. It's interesting thinking about would I have played this as a kid over League of Legends. I still think the answer is no, because League of Legends was a better live ops model throughout all those years and was more fun. And my friends were playing, like I was forced into playing League of Legends and getting a computer when I wanted to just be an Xbox player for the rest of my days. So I don't think Supervive would have hooked any of us other than maybe it was never a good game. And that's the hard truth around it at the end of the day.
Let's let Sam go. He looked like he had the most spicy rebuttal to this.
Yeah, in terms of that, Sam, you can go first on that. But I appreciate your assumption of contrarian. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, nothing like a contrarian that gets out before everybody else to make sure that it's contrarian. Yeah, exactly. Good work, Dub.
I know you guys are going to jerk these guys off. I'm going to jerk them.
Okay, the game is intrinsically provably good. 13,000 reviews on Steam, 4.5 stars on average. But it's a cautionary tale. Congrats on your great reviews. Anyway, pack your shit and get out of here. Like, this is not a success, but they did make a good game. They made a unique game, and most importantly, they made a fun game. The problem is it's too complex in general. Like, if you try to pick the game up, you're going to fail, and it's going to take a long time to get over that learning curve. That's problem number one. Number two, they change stuff consistently. It's really, really hard to pick it up a month from now and remember all the same items and stuff because they're not the same. They've changed all of them every single time I picked it up. Yeah. That was a huge problem. But this proves two things, in my opinion. One, indie studios without major publishers should not spend more than $10 million. Clair Obscur proved what's possible with that budget. Its Game of the Year quality is possible with that budget. Supervive raised $70 million. They raised 7 times the budget of the Game of the Year. And they made a good thing, and it still wasn't enough. And number two, what it proved is you should not be making live service games if you're not a massive publisher with the connections to people to get this out. Like, I saw 0 streamers playing this. Where's Double Lift trying out Supervive? I didn't see it. Maybe it happened, but it didn't happen enough that everybody got to sort of undeniably be exposed to this game. If you don't have the resources, if you don't have the connections, the high AAA budget stuff is simply not for you anymore. You have to figure out a way to do it in a simpler way. I think this exact same game could actually be like a much simpler custom lobby only experience where you can play against different levels and shit, like auto chess. I don't know. There's some form of this that actually works really, really well, but it's unfortunate that they weren't able to make it happen. I just think it's a sign of where we're headed as an industry, which is you're not allowed to compete in this territory unless you're Blizzard, unless you're EA. So don't.
Yeah.
You have to face reality.
No, 100% on terms of that. Blake, we'll go with you, and then we'll end with Knock.
I was just shocked to see this is the first like game that I've seen that when Sam outlines a few things, like, yes, it was complicated, but like looking back when I played the game, there was never like a time that I like logged off or took a break that I could single-handedly point to something that was like, yeah, this is why I didn't like this, or this is why this guy quit, or this is why I'm not going to log in again. It was very shocking to me to just see the end of it, watch the video, and just remember like all the good times I had and not really be able to put a finger on a certain thing that I was like, you know what, this is what ruined it. Like, we talked about all these different games. Like, I mean, hackers ruined a certain game, some sort of specific patch ruined a certain game. Like the way they delivered XYZ, I just didn't have any of those things that I could point to in Supervive and be like, this was a point of failure. The sum of its parts seemed great. I guess I'm gonna have to chalk it up to this is the first game, but like Sam brings up, like streamers, like this is the first game that maybe marketing just didn't match the budget that was spent on the original portion of the game. It just never had enough like grasp for the mainstream audience, and people just like calmly reverted back to the things they knew, like Dota, League, things like that, in their downtime. But the game itself was superb, and I'm just sad. Just pour one out, man. I'm very sad.
Pour one out indeed. And it's like one of the things that I was really sad about too was that they were just an excellent community managed team as well too. Like they were always very thankful for the community. They put emotes into the game with it. They've like put a whole bunch of like time and effort into all the different types of skins. They listen to the community when things are happening. And yeah, I agreed with Sam to some degree. Like they did change a lot of things from patch to patch, and that was something that we talked as a friend group of like, hey, like this has changed, and you actually had to watch like it was actually one of the only ones that I did watch the town hall because I knew that they were going to make some drastic changes to the game in the upcoming patch. But not close. They also. Here, oh, go ahead, Sam.
Sorry, really quick. They also, in order to solve the player liquidity problem, they didn't have enough users, so they said, we're going to get rid of duos and quads, and we're just going to make it trios. And I hated trios. They took away two things that people liked and gave us one thing that we'd never tried before. That's an insane fucking decision. Just make it duos or quads and force us into one of the pre-existing channels. To completely coin flip on that is insane. It was the stupidest thing they ever did. It drove me crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. Nah, close this out, brother.
The problem with this game is that it was playing chess while riding a snowboard and making a cocktail, right? Those skills don't really overlap. And I think when you look at the type of genres that have been blended here, when you're looking, this is the problem, Dub. There are a few people, like the five of us here in this room, that have enough exposure in a BR and enough exposure in a MOBA to understand what is going on here. But when you jump into this game and you need to understand how a BR works, how you're supposed to be rotating, what sort of things you should be looking at, where the dead side of a particular zone is, that's a skill set in and of itself that takes hundreds of hours to fine-tune and understand. Then you look at a MOBA. All right, how do I manage cooldowns? How do I level my character? What champion am I playing? Does that champion strong in the early game? Should we be looking for fights early? Do I need to scale up towards the end of the game? How am I itemizing? What do these things look like? All of this matters, and the amount of information that you have to absorb when you're playing a game of Supervive is ridiculous. I played this game with people who are both professional in Fortnite and Apex Legends and people who play professionally in MOBAs. Those people understood half of the game immediately, but could not figure out the other half of the game. The Venn diagram of the number of people on the planet that understand MOBAs to the level that was required to be good at Supervive and understood how to play a BR to the level that was required to play Supervive and could manage those two skills at the same time was so small that was the issue here. It wasn't marketing spend. It wasn't, did they get enough influencers? The problem was there weren't enough people on the planet who had the skill set to play this game. The game was just too difficult. It was a ton of fun. I loved it, but you were never, ever, ever going to have enough people in one region over any given moment of time to have successful lobbies. And one of the biggest issues you had with this game was queue times were atrocious, right? When you jumped in, it took you 5, 6, 10, 15 minutes to find a game. When you did, you died off spawn, you were back to that 15-minute timer. It was painful to play, and the skill set was too difficult. I think that this game, ultimately its undoing, was that it was just too different. There aren't enough people who understand how to play both versions, both sides of this game, and I think that they were a victim of their own success. It was innovative, it was exciting, people who played it loved it. The problem was not enough people understood what it was that they were playing.
Really great points on that, Knock. And I think for me, it is very sad to just see the amount of execution that went into that, and like how beautifully they did that specific overlap and nailed it and still died. Just like makes me like sad. But then, like, you know, Expedition 33 comes out, Arc Raiders comes out, so it shows, you know, multiplayer, and there is still a demand for multiplayer types games, even ones that are paid for like $40 and have that much specific player liquidity. It is pretty. Nope. Okay, good. All right.
Nope.
Sounds good. All right, let's close this show out, guys. We're going to do some like more fun things on that. I'm going to actually skip the Mount Rushmore because I want to have a little bit more time on this one. But I'm going to be sharing the screen here for this. It is going to be...
This is the only Mount Rushmore we need, so we just clip to that. We can skip to the next and continue. Here we go.
It was the Mount Rushmore of MMORPGs. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But we'll end it off here on a little bit more lighter note. But this was something that we put together for this show specifically. You have to choose one for that. And so we're going to go... we're going to do popcorn style, so we're going to all say our first like thing on that row. Hopefully it sparks debates or whatever it is to kind of give each other crap for that first one. So again, we'll go through first row, everyone will go, second row, et cetera, and then we'll piece together all of the specific.
There's only one answer on that first row, and I know where you guys are.
On this one. Knock, why don't we go snake draft here on this one? We'll go with Knock here first. What are you going on the top row?
Come on. What kind of question is this? It's RuneScape. Listen, it's turning 25 today, or this. I believe it turned 25 yesterday. It's one of the longest standing MMOs. It had an exactly 2-year-long period of drama within its community, to which it immediately remedied, and the upwards trajectory on both versions of this game just continues to get exponentially larger overall. RuneScape, old school RuneScape, just released its first new skill in December. The game is wildly popular. It's the most massively played MMORPG today. The game has so much depth. I've been playing it for 25 years. I haven't completed it. I've never once gotten bored of the amount of content. I can't say the same for Final Fantasy or for EverQuest or for World of Warcraft. I played all of those games, especially WoW, to the tune of thousands of hours. And I have thousands of hours on my most recent RuneScape account, like an account of many accounts. It's endless possibilities. It's the only answer. And if you're going to type in RuneScape, I'm going to throw Dragon Wilds into the mix here. You've got RS3, you've got old school RuneScape, you've got Dragon Wilds. There is no better MMO.
Oh my God.
You saying that it's Rune?
False. Can we fact check here?
I mean, it's completely false.
Name one, Blake. Which one is still alive to the tune of old school?
EverQuest and WoW still play a ton. Like,
yeah,
still
and
a ton of
all
people
of
play
the
those
WoW
games.
content creators left WoW for old school RuneScape in October of last year and have not looked back.
So, I mean, sorry, I just have a minimal viable like amount of graphics in my games. Like, if it looks like something that my kids like will bring me as a drawing from school that I have to pretend to be excited about, then I don't want to fucking play it. Like, if there's an arm hanging out and there's 7 legs,
that's a take that literal 15 million people every single day disagree with. So
dude,
it's unfortunate.
I can't handle it.
Yeah, it's old school RuneScape, Payton.
Dude,
let's be real.
World of Warcraft still has 4x.
Go ahead, Sam. Go ahead.
RuneScape has 4 times less the daily active users of World of Warcraft, and you want to say it's the only alive MMO? That's insane, dude. That's insane. World of Warcraft by a country mile. World of Warcraft is so good that we'll play Classic, and then they'll take it away from us, and then we'll play it again, and then they'll re-release it with new spells. We'll play that, and then we'll get cucked into buying expansions for the fake new version of the old stuff, and while also playing retail, which is like 13 expansions deep. And you want to tell me that it's old school RuneScape? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? World of Warcraft led us through puberty.
My balls dropped during the time period that I played World of Warcraft. On that, I'm guessing, Sam, World of Warcraft is your pick.
Yeah, I think I'll lock that in.
In terms of that, all right, Blake, and then we'll go with Dub.
So I have a tie. I have to have a tie here. I just can't.
Oh,
I
don't-
can't.
don't-
I can't tie break. I
don't
can't.
fans
So
hop.
so so EverQuest. So EverQuest. The first 3 years of my life, I played one, or the first 3 years it was released, I played one announce or come back from. Like the experience was like amazing and fun. And the reason that WoW is a tie now for me is, WoW had that originally and lost it for a long, long time. But when they released Hardcore WoW, they were able to bring it back again. Like the fact that like you can do the regular campaign, like just the regular leveling up experience with like a rejuvenated like group of people that are like friendly, just about like the ride. Like it's brought it all back down to vibes even. Nox ready to kill it.
Listen. The argument for WoW, I just want to make a point here. The argument that both Sam and now Blake have independently brought up for WoW is that they copied 2 game modes from old school RuneScape. I just want to make that
And
point.
people bought them. And people
Best-
bought them and
the
actually
best
played
thing
it.
about WoW is that they are kind of copying old school RuneScape.
You mean it? You mean
Wow.
you mean improved upon, right?
Which severely copied Ultima Online.
Yeah,
If you want to get technical, you dick.
Yeah, yeah, we're up here on Ultima Online here. Like the original, the original hardcore PvP in Ultima Online. Like they're not on this list, but like the fact that you could lose everything. Like I actually, as a small child, was weak that even though MMOs fell off, like there's going to be a place for MMOs. That even though MMOs fell off, like there's going to be a place for MMOs always. There is just always going to be.
Yeah.
There's something about that journey. So.
Love it.
One of those games is more popular today than it's ever been. Just want to make that point.
Knock still pandering, dude. No, dumb. Sorry, Knock talking
Thank-
too much. Dumb. What's up?
Thank God I lived a life without MMOs in it. So I was bullied out of the computer lab to play.
Have you ever played it, Dub?
No, I don't. I haven't played the other ones either. So I'm going after Final Fantasy 14 here, hands down, just because cover art looks cooler. And,
Jesus Christ, dude.
Trust the IP.
They've got, okay, you want to talk about a dead game. Final Fantasy, any guesses, Dub, on how many daily active players play that game?
Hey, one more with me, man.
Going through. All right, so TCGs are up. We have Hearthstone, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh! And the reason why I picked these is because I know every single one of you guys enjoys a very specific one, just like the first one. But let's go with.
Peyton,
Yeah, go ahead. Sam.
Real quick, are we saying like to collect, to play, the digital, the physical? There's a lot of nuance here.
I think it's
that's
just
it,
like if you
which is
could
the
only
best
have
package,
if you,
baby.
Yeah, if you could only freaking
Another
knock.
correct one answer only.
No, dude, and it's the
only one
wrong
answer.
one.
Oh my gosh! But in terms of this one, it's mostly just like the whole experience. So it is unfortunate. Hearthstone doesn't really have like a physical TCG type of like. I guess there is, but like there's still not like a big one as Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, or Yu-Gi-Oh. But anyways, you still have to pick. And Sam, you're up first.
Okay, if it's based on gameplay, it's definitely Hearthstone. Hearthstone is by far the most fun out of these four. It's simple. If you try to play Magic the Gathering and you haven't been playing for the last 5 years, you're going to have an absolutely miserable time. You're not going to own 99% of the cards you need. And then whenever you buy cards that you thought you needed, they're going to put it into some edition, and they're going to be like, no, you can't use cards from that edition because that was broken, so you have to get cards from this edition, and then your deck doesn't work, and $400 later, you cry, you leave, you go to Hearthstone. Magic the Gathering had some amazing years. They have jumped the shark, an insane amount of expansions, an insane amount of IP collabs. It's toast. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is only for weebs. I'm sorry, it's true. Pokemon, by far and away, is the best combination of like games, IPs, stuff that you want to collect. The TCG set 151 single-handedly made me care about physical cards again. That being said, I'm not a huge fan of their actual game, but it is decent. And then you have everything else that go into Pokemon.
Depth, like the amount of like things that continue to come out for this game continue to add depth. I will say the amount of collabs that are not fantasy are starting to get a little iffy. So we need interaction. I need there to be like some back and forth, like kind of thrill in the turns where there's a lot like extra level of thinking that goes into Magic that I like actually prefer than like Hearthstone where it's just like, oh, okay, your turn. All right, sit back. Okay, my turn. All right. Like that's cool. But like, the fact that Magic has been around so long and has such a big competitive scene, I think is a massive testament. They've also done a good job of like creating multiple like ways to play the game that appeal to a lot of different audiences. So you can, be someone that just plays, like I just play limited, so I just draft, and I love that. That's like the way that I like to play. They just have people that do constructed, like, that collect the cards, play the meta, and that's what they play. And then they have, the like formats, like the older formats, and then they have Commander, which is like a more casual format that you play with 4 players with friends. Like they've built an ecosystem that can support so many different types of gamers, and the fact that they have all these collabs, I think, is like showing you the power. Like everybody wants to work with Magic. I just hope they are a little more picky with the people they partner with in the future.
No, dude,
like
it's money, bro.
Final
It's a lot of money.
Final Fantasy collab. Final Fantasy collab was amazing. You know, some of the
Spoken like a dude who's gonna pick Dota in the next category. You
Yeah.
fucking asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
We'll go with Dub and then we'll end with Knox.
Yeah, dude, this is wild to hear. First, just on like the consumer, because for TCGs, it's not about just playing the digital card game. It is about collecting physicals as well, and the full like how you get to enjoy it. Hearthstone, everyone knows it's just a trash bin at this point. You come in, spend $60 to $100 to get something that is semi-competitive, only to have to buy the next $30 thing the month after. And to Blake's point, like of you, it's impossible to participate. They have filled vending machines across every grocery store in every major city in North America, and all of them are sold out by scalpers. And you couldn't go and buy a Pokemon pack at retail if you wanted. And that's why Yu-Gi-Oh is my top fucking pick here. It's so
I literally put it there just to have like another specific choice that no one will choose. It's
dude, this
hilarious that you're
is
picking
literally the best pick for so many reasons right now. The Yu-Gi-Oh has
Talk about
realized.
recency bias, Dub.
Yeah, I pulled the fucking Blue Eyes White Shining Dragon,
exactly.
the best
We pulled that
goddamn
yesterday
card in
on
Yu-Gi-Oh.
stream.
Of course, I'm fucking hyped. From a $15 pack at Walmart. The retail stores are full of options at Yu-Gi-Oh, from
'cause no
retro
one buys
to
them,
new.
bro.
Exactly, it's perfect. If you're a fan, you want to dive in, and there's a great digital gameplay experience upon it. But the reason why they're gonna launch a goddamn NFT collection next, I'm sure of it. They're doing everything they fucking can, and I think they're gonna take crazier swings and riskier swings than Magic and Pokemon, who are
different regions that print better than Yu-Gi-Oh. Listen, look, you look at a TCG, I think you think of 5 things. I wrote them down here. Not that you can see that, but I put them down on a little sticky note here. I got 5 categories for what's important to a TCG. It's gameplay, it's consumer, it's viewership or play, collectability, and IP. And if you look at those 5 categories, one name is number 1 on 4 of those options and is number 2 or 3 on the other one. You look at gameplay, it's hard to disagree with Sam. It's clearly Hearthstone. I think it's the best, most polished game. I think it makes the most sense. I think, listen, when you have to break up your TCG into 5 or 6 different game modes, then it's just too complicated for the average person to want to participate. And I think that Hearthstone does it there.
True.
You look at consumer, it's clearly Pokemon. Pokemon, of all of these games here, is the only TCG with a physical set that actually defends the consumer. Magic does a really good job of creating packs that make sense for the player, but is an otherwise terrible experience for somebody who's collecting. You look at Pokemon, they have limited print runs. They give you an exact time frame on how long those print runs are going to operate for. They give you reprints. They tell you when those reprints are coming. They give you fun packs. They give you booster packs. They give you Christmas things. There's a lot of consumer availability. Dub, I understand that you say, you go to Walmart and it's not there. Those people are idiots. If you go to any TCG or a board game shop, you're going to find shelves stocked full of Pokemon cards. A lot of those cards will be at retail. You look at viewership, there's only one answer. It's Pokemon. The Pokemon World Championship from a TCG perspective is 6-7 times as big as the Magic World Champion, which is the next biggest by viewership. Nobody even knows Yu-Gi-Oh still exists, so of course they're not watching it. You look at collectability, it's Pokemon. You look at Pokemon, your average person can name 151 Pokemon that they love, that they know, that they're excited about. And if you're even remotely close to a little bit of a more in-depth fan, that number probably rapidly approaches 400 or 500 Pokemon that you can name. It's Pokemon in 4 of these 5 categories. The only category it loses is gameplay. It wins everything else by a mile. It's Pokemon. It's the only one that matters on this list.
Hard to disagree.
The
on
fact
that
that Hearthstone is the winner of the gameplay, it makes me very sad.
Dude.
I agree with the rest of your. The rest of your take is strong, but that is abysmal.
Dude, no, just go watch pack opening streams lately, and 9 out of 10 Pokemon pack opening streamers, like the first 9 cards they open, they look like they're about to die of boredom.
I think
Yeah, it's a rip.
insane.
It's a rip and ship. So that is part of the gist of it here. That's part of the experience. Pokemon the collectability of Pokemon has increased to a level where there are literally 4, 5, 6 different verticals of businesses you can spin up purely off of Pokemon collectability.
We did learn something very important today. Mormons are very, very big on Pokemon, apparently, because Dub
that's why Dub's allergic to them.
Because Dub cannot find a pack to save his life in his area.
Even the trading card shops here, it's insane. They have Magic the Gathering up their assholes, but no fucking Pokemon for their life. They laughed at me. They
Are
scoffed at me.
they all
Really
attached to a
just-
church? Like, is that what's going on here?
I guess.
All right, guys, let's line this plane here. Last 10 minutes here. We have the next row right here is Dota 2, League of Legends, StarCraft 2, Supervive. I kind of did the MOBA, but this one's very tough for Sam, so I'm going to let him go last to really think about this. But we'll go with Knock, Dub, Blake, and then Sam.
Listen, I know it should be. I know it should be StarCraft, and I think StarCraft is a very, 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 very close, almost coin flip second, but it's League of Legends. It's a game now that has transcended just video games. It is a transmedia IP. There are shows about it. There's music about it. Linkin Park came back and delivered a song for the League of Legends World Championship. It is so far beyond a game. It is permeating all aspects of pop culture to the point where it literally was cited as an inspiration for K-pop Demon Hunters. The K-pop group that they made within League of Legends was the direct inspiration for K-pop Demon Hunters, one of the biggest movies of the year.
KDA.
For me, it's League of Legends because the game is good, the game is polished, there's a rabid fan base around the game. The World Championship,
R.I.P.
it's Supervive.
Yeah, RIP on that. All right, Dub.
Yeah, dude, I'm surprised Supervive's even on this list with their
Yeah,
limited
mostly it was just,
availability.
Rage bait.
The other reason why it's
He's probably
definitely
gonna pick
not, it's definitely not StarCraft 2 or Dota 2 because those games were just like new to me last year, and I still haven't sat down and be able to understand even what's going on with them. And League of Legends is, as Nock pointed out, has just been the dominant. Like it trailblazed for esports. It's led Faker to becoming this insane like person in South Korea. Like he literally has a tunnel going from his house to his parents' house because he can't be up in the daylight. Otherwise, he'll be crashed by people every single day. So like. I don't see any other video game on this list being able to support that level of stardom happening. I mean, he has his own like McDonald's commercial currently. So the last time I saw IP like that was Teeny Weeny Babies. So I definitely think
Blake.
I think my answer will be shocking. I mean, 5 years ago, it would have been Dota 2, like hands down. I think the gameplay is just far superior to League. But the thing that changed it all for me was the expansion of the IP. The fact that they made Arcane just solidified it for me. Like that show made me absolutely love the characters and the world that is being built here. And I have played, I don't know, 20x the amount of like Dota compared to League. Like I played plenty of League, but probably 20x hours into Dota 2. But it has always just remained Dota 2. It did not kind of expand outside of that. And the fact that we might get an MMO. Speaking of MMOs for today, could this one breach the Mount Rushmore? We shall see. That is going to be the thing that I'm looking for. I'm going to be selecting. I am going to be selecting League of Legends. I think this is your best category as far as how close all four are. But League of Legends is going to be the winner for me. Shout out to Arcane. Please, for the love of God, make sure that there's more seasons. Please.
Please. All right, Sam.
Okay.
I know this one was tough. I made this whole row for you.
Well, first off, Blake, League and Riot just decided they couldn't even finish Hytale, which was supposed to be Minecraft, but slightly better. So the idea that they're going to be able to execute on an MMO is about 0 out of 1,000.
Didn't they say the release date was like 7 years?
Please.
Yeah, they said it was so bad that they gave it away for free to the previous team after they bought it from them, and then they said, "Anyway, we'll release it another decade from now."
Well, you better not be saying StarCraft then, because I remember Ghost vividly. Okay, so you better be saying Dota 2 here.
Oh yeah. Okay, so this is going to surprise everybody. Yeah, so StarCraft, for anybody that doesn't know, I was a very, very bad semi-pro StarCraft 2 player. I loved StarCraft 2. I consider it one of the greatest games of all time. The reason that it has no business on this list is, one, it's not a MOBA, but two, more importantly, Blizzard completely ruined it with what was old ideology coming from StarCraft 1. We shouldn't balance things. We shouldn't patch things. We shouldn't release stuff too fast. We should let gamers figure it out. And the problem has been over and over and over again that yes, they will figure it out. Yes, it's cool to let gamers be ingenious, have ingenuity. But with that being said, you can't leave them in that swamp forever. I don't care if they figure it out in 6 months because they spent 5.5 months having zero fun. So you have to patch things and make it more interesting. They ruined StarCraft 2. They killed it, even though it's still kind of active and there are masochists that still enjoy playing the game. That is not a reason that it should be the best game compared to League of Legends and Dota 2. League is the clear winner here. Dota has a special place in my heart. It is incredibly deep. There is really, really sophisticated gameplay, but it's very hard to get into. And like you guys said, the times that they've tried to spin it off, Overlords was like their version of auto chess. Not good. Obviously, you made auto chess in Dota, so there's something to be said there. But realistically, League of Legends is the ultimate winner. Oh, my boy, Wild Rift. Dude, I just hit Master League in Wild Rift in the week that I had off. I was grinding and grinding and grinding. I had so much fun.
Man, Sam's not texting me that much. It was like, I know what it is. It's freaking wild.
Yeah, dude, I was locked in.
Our first clean sweep. You love
I'm
to see
downloading
it
it right now. I have to get back into it.
Dude, I know.
Dude,
what's
it's
it
so
called?
fun.
I was talking from the guy that's at community for Sui. He also plays it, and he also has those things. I was like, dude, yo, that's freaking crazy. It was James.
Don't tempt me with a good time, boys.
Yeah, dude. Well, we gotta play. All right, last one. This one's a tough one, at least for me. Whenever I put it out, but Blake said that it was just super easy. There's Baldur's Gate 3, Witcher 3, Zelda, and then Skyrim. Not Zelda as a whole, but the most recent one, which I actually didn't play. I only played Breath of the Wild. But I can't see it from here. But in terms of that one, what are the ones that we're going to do here? Blake, you have the floor here.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was easy pick for Baldur's Gate. Like, the Baldur's Gate, replayability and, my desire to explore things in that game was just, above and beyond. I'm also a huge D&D guy, so the fact that this, ties that in and I can kind of, understand parts of the game, and there's these rule sets that I'm kind of comprehending and working around, and the freedom that I have in the game was undeniable. Witcher does a decent job of kind of making a world that I'm interested in, but I still always feel like I'm a little bit on the rails. There's not a million different endings and different things that you can do, different characters. You can't just kill off a whole portion of your party and continue. The fact that you can just do whatever you want in Baldur's Gate is kind of one of the things that makes it awesome for me. The storytelling in that game is amazing. I loved digging deep on all the players. I admit though, I have not even finished Baldur's Gate because I've restarted it 5 different times with different groups of friends. So I'm currently playing through it right now with a group of friends. We're on Act 3.
You guys are very committed. You guys play every night.
I am hoping that we're going to finish that, and I will have even more information to solidify this for me. I have finished Witcher 3. I have finished Skyrim. I have not played a lot of Zelda, but for me, this was an easy Baldur's Gate 3. I will continue to check out anything that Larian produces. I am not a fan that they're moving away from the D&D centric rule set. I love that. I think it gave extra structure to the game.
I think it's because of Baldur's Gate though, right?
Yeah.
And, I think they're going back to their Divinity original sin 2 and 1, which didn't have as much role in D&D implementation. Sam, what about you?
I think that this is a list of games that I've never finished. I've played all of them. Haven't been able to get myself across the finish line. Even Skyrim, I know it's on 472 devices. Yeah. I've played through that fucking cart scene that's iconic that we made into a meme because it's so long and you can't skip it. I must have watched that thing at least 6 times myself trying to get myself to play Skyrim again. I could never do it. Baldur's Gate, Divinity Original Sin 2, I played a bunch of that. I played Baldur's Gate 3 recently. I still got halfway, it was 40 hours in, couldn't finish it. I think it probably has to be Skyrim just because if it's on every device known to man, that means there's the demand to put it on every device known to man, which means it's pretty damn successful. That being said, if I had to play any of them right now, I would either pick Baldur's Gate or Zelda.
Nice. All right, how about you, Dub? And then we'll end with Knock.
I don't know. Dude, I tried to play Baldur's Gate with my friend once. I must be too stupid to handle it, so I'm not ever touching it again. The Witcher I played through, and I don't need to have sex with those witches again.
Again.
Again, yeah. He's like, I finished that part, but after that,
I don't actually know what the story is.
I've done that, dude. But in Skyrim, I played the shit out of that, and I feel bad because I used that one cheating class where you could summon the bow and arrow as a wizard and have infinite arrows, and I max stacked through that. So I'd love to throw it back for old time's sake and just be a warrior and play it the right way. And honestly, Zelda and Link, they should have stopped making games after the Nintendo 64. So I'm definitely passing on that one.
That's a crazy take, Knock. Please.
it did make me sad that I thought for sure my son would kind of get into Zelda. I was like, man, everybody loved this growing up. Like, let's try a new one. And nope, my son has absolutely been like brain fried by like the Call of Duties and the Fortnites and the instant gratification of the world.
And the new Zelda's like Lincoln Logs with extra steps. Like I don't get what's going on. So like I'd much rather play Skyrim.
I don't know about this one. No, listen, there are two options, and it's Zelda or Baldur's Gate. For me, it's Zelda. I think that the depth of the world, what they brought to the Switch, in a console that really, really struggles to deliver anything that's even remotely cool because of the performance limitations on that console, Zelda has twice now been the best thing that they've delivered.
Right.
So for me, it's Zelda. That being said, all four of these titles are home runs. Like every one of these games, you pick one up, you play it. People are still buying that game. It's exciting, but it's Zelda for me because it brings something to a system that I think is largely underwhelming in a way that isn't underwhelming, and I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, facts, guys. Well, that was a fantastic show. I apologize, guys, for people that are watching on stream. I currently have no internet down. I've been streaming with these guys, and restream I think is probably the source of the issue. So apologies. I'll make it better for next time on that side of things. But thank you guys. If it is live currently, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll make sure we clip all of this up. We'll also upload the full specific version to YouTube for you guys to watch for your viewing pleasure. And the Mount Rushmore of MMORPGs is being shown by Blake right now. But I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys next week.
The RuneScape face. So good.